In this series, I try to beat Minecraft hardcore doing nothing but what Twitter tells me to do. I run polls every episode to see what creation we're going to build next, and at the end of every episode, I show the next poll for the next episode. Or is it possible to beat Minecraft in hardcore with Twitter telling me what to do for every episode? Let's find out. First, I need to establish some ground rules. Rule number 1, I cannot do anything else but what the task decides unless it is utterly crucial to my survival. That means that I am only allowed to get food if I am bitterly close to dying or if I do not have any other source to actually replenish my hunger. I also cannot farm any other blocks that are going to aid me in my journey. So let's say for this first episode, I'm going to be building a house. I'm not allowed to go for iron at all because it is not essential to building the house. I can only do what the task tells me, and I can only do that task for the entire episode. I cannot branch off and do something else, and I cannot spend more than 1 minute doing another activity than what is described in the Twitter poll. Rule number 2, I have to stay alive. The series cannot continue if I die. That is the ultimate rule. Rule number 3, I'm not allowed to choose the idea that is presented in this current episode. This is the first episode and there were only 2 votes on the poll, therefore I chose the one that had the vote put in first, and that was the hardcore survival. So the only reason that that one won was because that person's vote had gone in first. I did not choose this, nor did I want to play hardcore, but here we are. Rule number 4, I have to record everything. There will be no playing off screen, none of that. I have to record everything. With that being said, after watching me forage berries and collect some wood, let's get into this episode of building the house. This first day was fairly straightforward in terms of your average Minecraft Let's Play. I started off by killing a couple of sheep to get some wool because a bed is an essential part of actually creating your house. And then also I decided to get some more wood because obviously I need wood for tools and actually building the house, etc. And then I started off by getting myself some cobblestone after I got some more berries from just all around this spruce biome. Now, cobblestone was extremely easy to get in this location because obviously it is everywhere. I am sitting on top of a mountain. There is no way that I cannot get cobblestone. So the cobblestone was originally a part of the house design that I had in mind, but I ended up changing the design later and there wasn't really any cobblestone implemented into the build. I did technically follow the rules because it was a part of the original plan for the house, so I was allowed to make myself stone tools because I was allowed to collect cobblestone. However, if the design had not originally included cobblestone, then I would not have been allowed stone tools, and I think I probably would have jumped off of a bridge from this episode. It took so long to make all this stuff. But regardless, after getting cobblestone, I decided to make myself a shovel, started clearing off some of the land so that I could actually build my house and make it decently sized. I really wanted this house to be big because this is the one thing that I am allowed to do for this episode, and I wanted to make sure that it was well worth the wait. I decided to sleep over the night so I didn't have to deal with mobs. And then headed into day 2, there was a lot more prep work that I had to do on this area in order to make sure that it was suitable for me to build the house. I had to keep clearing off a whole bunch of land, and it took so long with only stone tools that I had like iron shovels, iron pickaxes. This would have gone so quick. And if I was stuck on wood, this is where you can see the real manual labor of this would have really just taken a toll, and already it took 3 hours just to build this house alone in real time, and doing that with wood tools would have taken almost double that amount of time. So it would have been absolutely miserable trying to build this entire house without wooden tools. But regardless, just layer by layer, I started chipping off at the bridge of this mountain, and I had to make sure that I actually kept a little bit of the natural feel, because I didn't want to make it look like this was just some man-made structure as well. I wanted to make it look like it kind of belonged in this setting as well. That involved clearing out the gravel, filling it up with dirt, making sure that the grass actually grew, shaving off the sides of the hills to make them look somewhat natural. And then, after a hard day's work, finally settled down for the night, decided to sleep again because those hostile mobs are not something that I want to deal with without any form of armor, because again, I can't pick up iron. That was the worst part about this entire episode. But regardless, going into day 3, there was still more leveling that I had to do. I had to finally shave off the last bit of the stone because there was still a little bit there that I had to deal with. With that being used, I had to also create more stone tools because I had to get more wood for this project. And I did start laying the foundation as well as plant a berry farm today. This was the most influential day overall for the entire project because it really did allow for the build to kind of take shape. And I was actually able to fully plan out what I wanted to do and try and figure out how I wanted to fully influence this project, because Twitter only told me that I had to build a house. They didn't tell me what type, they didn't tell me what blocks to use, they didn't tell me what to do in that regard. I decided all of this by myself, and that's kind of how this series is going to go. It's going to be, you guys tell me what I have to do, but I'm going to do it with my own build style, but I can only focus on that one thing. So only focusing on the house was a very hard topic because I had to make sure that I stayed alive, which meant that I had to sleep every single night. I had to make sure that I was following that routine because there was no way I was going to stay alive if I did not sleep. Now, after leveling off the entire face of the mountain and building the outline for the structure, I started really planning out what blocks I needed. So I knew I needed some spruce planks, I knew I needed stairs, I knew I was going to need a whole ton of spruce logs, I knew I was going to need cobblestone, and I knew I was going to need tools. And that was all that day 4 was about, was prepping for building this house. This day was by far the introduction to the most tedious part of the entire process, which was grind, grind, and grind. The first part of the day was not too bad. I set up the entire skeleton of the house, but that also ate away the majority of my spruce wood, which meant I had to go and chop down a lot of trees, but not before building myself a nice little berry farm as well, adding on to what I had in the previous day just to make sure that I was going to keep myself fed. I really did not want to have any chance of dying of starvation because that would be the most embarrassing thing ever. But nonetheless, since I had kept sleeping during the entire time, there was no way for mobs to actually spawn because I was able to get into the bed before the sun actually set. I mean, light levels were still too high for mobs to spawn, and I was able to escape without having any issues with creepers, zombies, skeletons, any of the hostile mobs. Now, after chopping down a whole bunch of wood and going back to the house, I realized that I was still going to be a little bit short and that I was going to have to go again, but that wasn't too big of a deal because I wanted to make sure that I could at least get the first floor done within this Minecraft day. I wanted to make sure that that was done so that I could worry about really constructing the roof on the next day and really try to bang out this project because it was extremely tedious to try and get everything done at the rate of which I was going. Day 5 was a lot like day 4, except for the fact that I really didn't go mining for trees that much, but I spent the majority of the day working on the house, filling out the top layer, and making sure that I was actually going to be able to use this place by the time the episode ended. So that included putting in some floating stairs using some cobblestone slabs, filling up the roof using some logs and some planks, and then overall, at the end of the day, this being a really short day for some reason, brought my bed back up to the top and I put it in the room where I believed I was going to keep it for the rest of the series. With the bed safely moved up to the top of the house and with the sunset going right in front of me, I decided that there was no better time than to sleep right then and there, just to make sure that I was still going to make it through to the next day. Now, nothing really crazy eventful happened in day 6. It was a lot of tree farming and then a lot of building. I did happen to start construction on the roof, which was actually really easy to do considering the fact that I had made everything an even number on this house, which made it so that all of the roofs lined up perfectly and I was able to just completely mesh it together by the end of the day. Decided to send myself to bed a little bit early just to make sure that I was rested for the next day of work. On day 7, literally nothing happened besides me working on the roof and the rest of the house. Didn't do anything else the entire day. I decided that I was just going to fully dedicate day 7 to roof building and just quickly sent myself to bed because I was honestly fed up with trying to deal with stairs for the entire day. On day 8, I decided to go lumberjacking to make sure that I would have enough wood to finally finish off this house, and then I brought all of it back and just started to finally finish off the top of the roof so that I could start putting on the finishing touches to this house. After setting up the last little bit of blocks onto the one panel of the roof that I was missing, I set myself up to sleep because I knew that day 9 was going to be troublesome. I had to go and get a whole bunch of sand, which happened to be right behind the house, but it still made for a very difficult process to place all of it properly. Day 9 was fairly straightforward. I just decided to simplify the roof pattern and finished off the majority of the roof. I only had one more section to do, which was the turret at the back of the house. I then decided to go down to the edge of the ocean and get myself some sand because I knew I was going to need quite a bit of glass in order to fill up all of the blank spots that I had left in the walls. The main reason that I wanted to have so many blank spots was because there is a lot of scenery around that I wanted to be able to appreciate in this game, and with shaders on it just seemed like the right thing to do. After getting all that sand, I brought it back up and used a lot of my coal to smelt it, and with that we're headed into day 10. Day 10 was actually incredibly simple. I decided that I really did not like the look of the edges of the walls being in spruce wood planks, so I decided to go and get myself a couple more logs just to make sure I had enough, and I replaced all of the edges of the house with spruce wood logs because I just thought that it looked that much better and it needed to be implemented into the build. After that, I picked up all of the glass, set up the glass panes, and got myself ready to put it all in for day 11. Day 11 was probably the easiest day out of all of them. It was literally just craft, place, rinse, repeat. It was just glass upon glass upon glass upon glass. Everywhere in this house that had an open space, there was gonna be glass, okay? This house was going to be Glass City, except there was wood holding up all of it. But Glass City. I then went down and mined some sand with my hands because I broke my shovel on the last day, but I didn't want to waste cobblestone to make a new one, so I decided to just go down, mine up some sand, went up, put it in the furnace, smelted it, grabbed it, crafted it, and finished off the glass in the house. Then, after a long day's work, went to sleep the night. I'm sure you guys can see a pattern here, and it's slowly driving me insane. Day 12 was all about putting the final touches on the house because it was really close to completion. I put the roof on the turret. I also had changed the floor all the way into planks because that was just something that needed to be done. The dirt was driving me slowly into a mental asylum, but that's okay. Anyways, moving on, we put some torches around the house. We finished off the turret by encasing it. We got all of the doors put in the house as I almost forgot to put 2 of them in, but with that, the house was finally done. In all of its glory, the house was finished after 12 Minecraft days, and it was really, really tedious to try and do so, but I think the house turned out pretty well. So, without any further ado, here is a nice walkthrough through the house. And before that happens, I just want to say thank you guys all for watching this video. If you guys did enjoy it, please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more Minecraft content if you enjoyed it that much. If you did not enjoy for whatever reason, please let me know down in the comment section. I'm always eager to hear you guys' feedback. If you need to hit that dislike button to get my attention, please do so. Anything that I can do to make my content better is something that I greatly value. So if you guys have any constructive criticism, please let me know. But again, thank you all for watching. I'll catch you guys all in the next video. The poll for the next episode is up on my Twitter account right now. If you guys hurry up and vote, you can still get in for the next episode, episode 2. And I will see you guys all next time. My name's Azure. It's been a pleasure, and I'm out. Peace.